All right, let's bring you an update now from COP28, and the phasing out of fossil fuels and possibly ditching them completely is forming a large part of the discussions at the UN's climate change conference taking place in Dubai. Today's discussions will focus on greener air and the transport sector's contributions toward ending carbon emissions. Let's touch base now with Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo, who is at the Expo. Ziyanda, good morning to you. So, this is probably going to be the most difficult part for all of the countries participating there, phasing out fossil fuels and possibly ditching them completely. South Africa will probably be the first to say, we are unable to do that with immediate effect.
Well, it depends on which part of Team South Africa you speak to, because yesterday you would have heard Gwede Mantashe saying that there's a possibility of even extending the lifespan of coal power stations, which of course use fossil fuels. But if you speak to someone like Barbara Creasy, what the president said, they are really leaning in towards onboarding renewables as fast as possible and actually phasing out fossil fuels. It's all about timing, it's all about the pace and all about the monies that are required to actually execute such a mission. Currently, we only have about 13% of the trillions that are needed to actually have a fully clean, green energy, supply in our just energy transition plan. And that's part of the discussions now that are taking place today. It's the 7th day, and they're looking at air pollution, and transport. So, for instance, the aviation sector is having a lot of, sideline events to talk about greener air and how their aircrafts can also be climate change friendly. But all of this is taking place just before the second high-level segment, where heads of states are expected to return once again here to Dubai this weekend, and where there will be conversations. In fact, there's a lot of talk about the possible impending arrival of Russian President Vladimir Putin to Dubai, where it's unclear whether he's coming to COP28 or whether he's here just to meet the king. But these are all the moving parts that are taking place at this conference. And I tell you what, we are covering the story from all angles. So it's not just about air pollution, but our colleague in Nigeria, Ikioma Ejoa, is also looking at the aspect of plastic solution and how that West African country is faring in dealing with issues of plastic pollution. Let's listen to what she put together for us.
Plastic pollution is capable of affecting the land, the waterways and the oceans, and this has contributed to the death and loss of many marine and land creatures because plastics is non-biodegradable and therefore it causes hazard to the soil. It is estimated that Nigeria produces 25 million tons of plastics annually.
Plastic waste is a familiar sight in Abuja, from street to waterways and landfills and even within communities. But what becomes of this plastic waste? We meet Olufunto Boroface, a climate change activist who is taking action to save the environment through waste management and recycling. She is the founder of Chanja Dati, a plastic recycling company in Abuja that not only picks and recycles plastics, but offers cash in exchange for plastic trash. Chanja Dati, meaning transform dirt in Hausa language, aims to transform plastic waste in Nigeria.
How do we solve this problem, this waste problem, this climate change problem, this greenhouse gas emissions problem? I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to start a company that would not only mop up the waste in our environment in the Abuja metropolis, but also create jobs for people. 2015 was when we started Chanja Dati. 8+ years that we've been in existence. We've diverted almost 7,000 tons of waste, which is like 7 million kilograms of waste from the landfills and waterways. And I think that would be the equivalent of taking like almost 100,000 cars that emit CO2 emissions off the streets, or it would be the equivalent of, I would say like over 1 million greenhouse gas emissions saved, and that for us they're huge numbers for us just as an organization.
She created small collection hubs where plastics are brought in by individuals in exchange for cash.
So the Cash for Trash initiative started in 2018. Cash for Trash is basically putting recycling hubs in communities, right? Where people can, especially women, can generate income. So we have a program, for example, called Bottles for Books, where children are actually paying their fees with, their parents are paying their fees with waste.
This bottled water as I dey pick, it help me well. I dey use them buy food for my children. They use it to transport ourselves. Sometimes our office, they pay us in time. But I thank God for the plastic bottled water. It helped me very well.
Both of my daughters, are passionate about helping disadvantaged children. We stumbled upon this initiative, and from here we were able to discover that, by getting these materials brought here, they could actually, pawn them for money that can be used to help disadvantaged children in schools, within the Abuja metropolis. With this, we're able to get books. So, of course, there's some savings for us as well, because we also can take advantage of this opportunity as well.
After collecting these plastics, they are then carefully sorted by color, with their labels and covers removed. Once sorted, the bottles are put in large bags and sent into the factory, where they are washed and stacked into bales for sale, or broken down into smaller pellets for final production outside her factory.
But in terms of the impact, right, when you ask us what we're doing with these materials, I have some samples here with me. This duvet is made by one of our clients. It's not made by us, but it's made out of PET bottles. And it's a Chinese company in Aba that bought, and they made these duvets from PET. And they turn it into fiber, into non-synthetic fiber. Okay, so this is made out of PET bottles. This bag here is made out of PET bottles as well, this one. So, when we talk about circular economy and we talk about even climate change and all that, because there's a huge possibility and a huge market for circular products, that's one of the areas that we really want to play in, right? The other thing that I would show you here is even these buckets, okay? These buckets are made from pellets that we produce as well. So what we call pellets are like either high density or low density pellets. Is that this was actually made from Naira notes. So I think the low denomination notes like 5 Naira, 10 Naira, 20 Naira, and I think 50 Naira are polymer notes. They're not paper. So I'm hoping that by next year, God willing, we'll have our own machines to be able to make buckets and bowls as well.
With more partnership and profitable business relations, Olufunto continues to make a huge impact in the lives of women and children with her Cash for Trash initiative and Bottles for Books program to save the environment, thus combating the soaring level of unemployment and reducing the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria, as the country ranks the highest in the world.
As a country, I would say that we have a lot of work to still do. My clarion call to the youth is that everybody needs to get involved.
Nigeria has been considered to be at extremely high risk in the impact of climate change, ranking second out of 163 countries as the climate clock gradually ticks. For Newzroom Afrika Channel 405, I'm Ekioma Eneji in Abuja, Nigeria.
So clearly that's our correspondent in Nigeria, Ikiome Joa, reflecting then on the plastic pollution issue. And really the main thing to take away from that is the issue of incentivization. So how do you fast track then climate change initiatives, perhaps paying people for actually collecting plastic waste, as we've just heard now in Nigeria. So conversations are continuing here, Koli, around fossil fuels. In fact, there's a huge push to have that become the main outcome of COP28 come next Wednesday, to have the phasing down or possible complete ditching of fossil fuels.
Live for us in Dubai at the COP28, Ziyanda Ngcobo, our senior reporter there, and bringing us the latest as regards that summit. Okay.